Hello, collective. So this is a reading from my magical ones, my witches, my star seeds, my spiritualists, my goddesses, my gods and goddesses, right? The chosen ones, the ones that are on the path. This is your message, okay? Let's see what we need to know right now. What do your guides want you to know right now? Altar. So you have dedication, altar. So your altar is calling for some attention, okay? You need to do altar work. When was the last time you cleansed your altar? Right? You have to always make sure that your altar is receiving enough energy. And how do we do that? By going to our altar on a regular basis, connecting with the forces and the energies, connecting with the elements, making sure we have all the elements on our altar: air, fire, water, earth. I'm also speaking that maybe you need to create a new altar dedicated to a specific thing that you're working on, or a specific deity that you're working on, okay? That you're connected to. I'm speaking to someone that their altar is calling them. You need to do some altar work. Maybe you've been slacking a little bit. Okay? So you need to connect with your altar space. What else do you want us to know? Cloak concealment. Okay, so concealment with the altar. So I don't know if you need to maybe protect your altar from, conceal your altar, or maybe you're someone that can't have an altar because you're not in a position to, you could still be living with family members, or you're just in a place where you cannot have an altar open. You have to hide it. Maybe you're still in the broom closet, okay? But there's other ways that you can still have that altar space. You can create, like an altar in a shoebox, that has everything in it, put it away, and then, bring it out when you need to use it, pray, meditate, and call on the energies, and then put it away and, keep it concealed. There's so many ways that you can have an altar, without people seeing it, if you're not in a position to be open with your altar, okay? Water cleansing. All right, so this is the element of water and cleansing. So I'm hearing that you might need to work with the energies of water, okay? And try to cleanse your energy, okay? Purify yourself. Ritual. So there's a ritual that is of significance here. So it's almost given that you might need to cleanse yourself because some things are being done behind the scene with this altar and concealment. So there's somebody that is cloaking themselves after doing a ritual, okay? And it's given like a group of people. This could be a coven that could be working against you and hiding their hands, okay? This could be somebody, a friends group, somebody that you might think is your friend. So you might need to cleanse your energy. Go ahead and do a spiritual bath. And if you did do a ritual with the group, right? Maybe those energies are still on you and you need to cleanse yourself. There was a spell that was done. There was a spell that was done. There was a spell that was done under this recent moon. And like I said, there was a group of people. I don't know if you were part of this coven or this group that did this spell, right? But cleansing is required. My spirit guides are telling me that this was a spell that was done on you because cloaking is here. And the spell, right? Before the spell, they did a cloaking spell that you will not know who. They will not be exposed, okay? I feel like you're going to awaken to this. You're going to find out about this, or you're being told about this through this reading. So go ahead and do a cleansing. But I feel like they're going to get their karma with the Wiccan read here. Harm none. Do as ye will. And ever mind the rule of three. What you send out comes back to thee. So whatever spell that was done, right, in the dark, that was hidden, that was cloaked. Remember, there was a spell. And there was an altar. Your name, your picture could be on somebody's altar. Due to the Wiccan read, that gives me karma, okay? It's going to come back to them. So all you got to do is cleanse your energy. Maybe use water. And you can actually just have a glass of water and speak in the water and declare that anything sent to you returns to sender. Returns to sender. You know, and just speak to water. You can use water to actually, you know, break the spell. It was more than one person. It was at least 3 or 4 people that was involved in this, okay? So this person could be part of a coven. You know, they went to them for help, that they wanted to do something to you, okay? Candles were involved, candle magic, okay? Candle magic, or you can do candle magic. Do a cleansing, right? Light a candle for purification, a white one for purification, and a black one to protect yourself, okay? White to purify your energy and a black one for protection. Like I said, this happened around the full moon. And it was more than one person. They cloaked themselves because they're showing their back. Concealment. So you didn't know, okay? You didn't know. This person, maybe they felt like you were involved with their partner, or there was someone, this has something to do with somebody you're dating, okay? Maybe this could have been a breakup spell to, look at that, wand, intention. They sent some energy your way. So if you notice that things have been acting a bit wonky in your life, your money's drying up, things have been dry, things are not moving forward, there was something that was done on you, a spell, okay? And you need to cleanse your energy, okay? You need to cleanse your energy, all right? You need to bring that stability back. You have the power, okay? You have the power to break through this obstacle. So when I see stuff like this, I need to go to my Deviant Tarot to get the nitty gritty. Let's see what exactly they did. Divine Spirit, give us more information on this spell, this ritual. Yeah. This is someone that felt that their person had other options that they were entertaining. Maybe you were one of the options. Page of Swords, they were spying on their person, okay? So they could have seen your picture in their phone, some information. They saw something. They saw you, and they could have seen you and that person, or they saw the messages that y'all had. They were able to, this person is actually, you were dealing with someone who already had a family, okay? You were dealing with someone that already had a family. This is not for everybody, but for whoever it is for, it's going to resonate. That person is a Knight of Wands, okay? This person likes to go out, have fun. They're just, you know, they've been stepping out on that person for a while now. So that's why they watch them, check their phone. They could have those apps that lets them know, you know, who's calling and things of that nature. Yeah. So this person gets bored in their relationship, and they're actually bored with this person. You know, they want to leave that situation. They're not happy where they are, but, you know, it's due to the family that they feel stuck. They feel like they can't leave. They have too much invested, okay? So constant conflict and anger and arguments and things like that goes on. But this person fell in love with you. They didn't know they were going to fall in love with you. They weren't trying to fall in love with you. There was something different about you that, you know, attracted them. Yeah, they were enamored, you know. They were definitely very attracted to you. They felt you were different. You came with this energy, you know, and they were drawn in, okay? But they had this relationship that they're, you know, committed to. They were in a commitment. That family card is here again, okay? They have responsibilities and they didn't want to leave due to the responsibilities, okay? Two of Wands, they're at a crossroads. They were even thinking about leaving that situation. They were trying to buy some time and wait for, you know, something to happen. Maybe they're waiting for their child to get a certain age, or for something to happen, or for balance to be restored in their life where they can actually, you know, make a move and leave, okay? So this person was actually going to come in and tell you something. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get that information to you before their partner. It's almost like their partner cut off the communication, you know, so they could have blocked you on their phone or did something where you see this message that wanted to come in was cut off, okay? So this was a battle that they were having. So they've actually argued over you. They've questioned them about you, and it just got to the point that they got tired of it and they decided to go and do something really underhanded, and that's the spell. And they were going for blood. They were going for blood. But this person did not know that they were actually, you know, setting themselves up. So that spell that they did is actually going to hurt them more than what they were trying to do to you. They're going to have to swallow their own sword. What they put out for you is coming back to them. the Lover's card. I feel like this person is definitely going to make that choice to be with you, but it's going to come at a very big price. It's not going to be easy for them because their person is definitely a snake and is going to make them suffer. That's that snake that's biting them on the leg. So they're going to attack them some type of way, and it's definitely spiritually, because they're refusing this person from walking away from them. It's almost like they have some type of hold on the person. The person wants to leave, you know, they want to get out of this. They're driving them crazy, but they're stuck. They're stuck. They're hanging in there. They can't move. They're stuck. They're stuck in that relationship. They're stuck in that marriage. This person comes from a family of powerful witches, okay? Powerful, powerful. They can use magic to get what they want. So you're going to have to really step up your game with this person, okay? This person that did the spell on you, all right? But I see that things are going to move forward for you. If you've been stagnant, you know, the spell might have caused some blockages in your life. Things are definitely going to start moving forward for you. You're going to start seeing movement once you do the cleansing, okay? Once you do the cleansing, okay? Because right now, the type of spell they did on you was for you not to have any direction, for you to be confused, and for you to start working against yourself, fighting against yourself to the point where you do something that destroys yourself. You do something that will destroy you, okay? They sent minions to you, you know, where you do risky things, put yourself in a situation where, you know, you put yourself in a dangerous situation, take a risk that puts you in a place where you're harmed, okay? That's the type of spell they did. But justice is going to be served. Karma's here. This person is being called into the spiritual court by your ancestors, by your guides. They have to pay for what they did, okay? They thought it was cloaked, but it was actually seen. They saw it. Spirit saw it, okay? This is what was happening. This is what was happening. They were working together. They didn't do it alone. And everybody that helped them must pay the price too. Because before you agree to be paid to do any work on someone, you should do a divination to see if that person deserved, you know, the magic that y'all putting on them. But they didn't do that. They just collaborated and did whatever, okay? So you're going to probably hear about it soon, or maybe you won't hear about it, but this person is definitely getting their karma for that spell work that they did. Spirit is advising you to go ahead and do your cleansing. Do a cleansing spell. Do a uncrossing spell or unhex yourself, you know, where you remove a hex. Don't try to do magic against them because your guides are already at work. They're already working behind the scene. They're going to get their karma, okay? So that is your message to my magical ones, okay? All right. Get your protection up, okay? Get your protection up. And be careful who you're dealing with, because they're with someone who is, you know, not of good, very questionable character, okay? And they're a magical person too. All right. On that note, thank you and have a wonderful day.